Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're looking at the Impact M3, and you have seen an Impact on my channel before, but this particular Impact looks a little bit different and performs a whole lot different, and we're here to talk about that today. So if you follow the air rifle world, especially the FX Impacts, and you already know that they have released some goodies, and I helped Chris Turk shoot a video where we took my 22 long rifle and pitted it up against his 22 FX Impact M3 with an 800mm barrel. So during that, Chris was keeping up with me pretty good, and I was actually pretty surprised about, one, the capability of the rifle, two, the capability of the ammunition, because somewhere 22 has always beaten the air rifles is that the BC of the ammunition is just much higher. Now insert the Patriot Javelin Slugs. This is a 40 grain 22 caliber air rifle slug. That's a .218, and guess what? It has BC that's nearly identical to 22 long rifle. So that got me pretty pumped up because I do some competitive shooting, and getting back into air rifles after a long absence, this is really exciting. It's brand new. I can get in on the ground floor and really test these rifles out, and I'm gonna shoot this in NRL 22. But to make that happen, there are a few requirements that I have in my rifles. So one, let's talk about the power. I need something that's gonna shoot in the 1,000 feet per second mark to compete with 22 long rifle. 22 long rifle match ammo is anywhere from 1040 up to 1100 feet per second and anywhere in between. This Impact M3 with FX new power block and their tungsten hammer, it can definitely push the 40 grainers. Mine is shooting 1020. I could shoot at 1040 or 1050, but I backed it down trying to figure out how to tune this rifle and really just learn how to tune in general. So now that we've got the power, we need the precision. And one of the things that has been an issue is when you're shooting heavy for caliber slugs and you're working the gun really hard, having that liner, that thin liner in a traditional shroud was just inducing too much barrel whip, and it was making it very inconsistent. So now they have this carbon fiber barrel tension kit. So now we've got kind of the gun worked out, but when you're trying to shoot competitively, you're really looking at more than just the rifle. There's just a few other little things, and one of those is balance. So if I hold this up right here, this is the balance point of this rifle. I've got a little fine tuning and tweaking to do, but this would never ever happen on an M3 or most any other air rifle out there without some very trick parts. That is the Saber Tactical rails, and that's what I'm running here. You can see I have these weights bolted to these. Now these weights were not intended for this. As a pure shooter, we make things work all the time, so that's just exactly what I did. So we have the Saber Tactical rail, which has 20 MOA of cant built into it. I'm running a base with 30 MOA, which gives me 50 MOA. That's basically free 50 MOAs to dial up in elevation to be able to push this gun out further. I can probably easily shoot this out to 300 or 400 yards dialing with no holdovers. That's gonna be pretty exceptional, especially when we start poking out there quite a ways. Having the rail, I can mount those weights to it. And I also have their bottom rail, which is Arca Swiss. And what I really like about it is in the past, you've seen some of the rails, they will hang quite low of the bottle. The problem is with that, when you're shooting PRS, if you're trying to shoot and work ports, you need a condensed short package. So this rail really hugs this bottle, and it's very nice and wide, so it sits on a bag very well. It's very stable to shoot off this, and it's probably the most compact M3 setup you're gonna be able to get. So we've got the balance, we've got the power, we've got the precision. Before we get to the group shooting, I did want to talk just a little bit about the parts, a little more in depth. Again, I'm not an air gun guy, so go over to Up North Air Gunners and to Matt Dubber's videos. Those guys put up videos and they really know the ins and outs of this. I'm not gonna really geek out on the specs, but basically you got the power block. This is on every M3 going forward, and you can upgrade your old Impacts to accept the new power block. Basically, it's a port and polish block. So it's a little more efficient. It's very noticeable gains in the feet per second just by going to the power block. Then if you're trying to shoot really heavy for caliber slugs, you can go to that tungsten hammer. That tungsten hammer is going to allow you to hit that valve even harder at those higher reg pressures and really push it up again. So both of those, you know, one piece at a time, you can see that velocity jump and jump again. And combined with this 800mm barrel, where you're getting that extra barrel length to help propel that slug out of this thing, you're really able to do some pretty crazy things. But like I said, check out Chris at Up North Air Gunner. So enough of that, let's get out here, let's do some shooting off this, Let's see what we can do. So we have the Impact M3 with all the goodies, shooting 40 grain javelins. We're out here at 50 yards. We have a downrange camera up. What we're gonna do is shoot a couple of groups, see what we can get, and we're just gonna see how this is gonna go. So I'm not quite done tuning yet, but I've got it shooting like MOA or a little bit better pretty much consistently at 50 yards and further. So let's shoot some groups so you can see what we're talking about. We're pushing these about 1,020 feet per second. So we do have a little bit of wind out here today. You can see a little bit breezy, but we're gonna try and shoot in between the breezes. But we're gonna go, I don't know, down to the middle row here, and we're gonna shoot from left to right. So let's try that. Not bad, that's probably ½ inch there. See, 3 all went in the same hole. Shoot another group. That one pulled a little high. But still probably ½ inch, and I think the little bit of movement you're seeing there is me not having this tuned exactly 100%. Someone who's better at tuning, you could probably get better results than I'm getting. So let's shoot another group here. Check. We are tethered, but the bottle is off. I've been able to get 15 plus shots out of this, so shoot group number 3 here. All right, so that one point of impact, a little bit high, but still probably a ½ inch group. All right, we're gonna move up now, and let's see if we can shoot one more 5-shot group before the wind gets too bad. All right, I think that one's gonna be ½ inch too. And overall to me, looks really good. I mean, we're shooting 40 grain slugs out of a 22, 1,020-ish feet per second. And to have it do that, and it's pretty consistent, but as far as the groups, I'm happy with that. So let's get this thing off the tether. Let's get it on a prop, and let's see if we can shoot some steel, and we'll talk about some holdovers. This is what I really enjoy about this rifle and this setup, is the fact that this rifle will balance on something like this, and it's able to do that because I have weights strapped to it here, and these weights are fixed to it by the Saber Tactical top rail. Now I have their bottom rail and their top rail. The bottom rail is Arca Swiss, so bipods, plates, all those things I normally run all work on this. So I'm really most excited about this because I'm a PRS shooter, and at the end of the day, this is the stuff I want to shoot off of, and this thing is just a beast for what will be my NRL gun. So we're out here, it's a little windy. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna dial 1.9 mils. Now I wanna talk about that because my 22 long rifle is moving about 60 to 70 feet per second faster than what I'm shooting this gun at currently. Now I can push this thing up closer to that, but I like the accuracy better where I'm at. So we are gonna dial 1.9 mils. That's kind of my guess based on this. Now, as I get further along and I get this thing more dialed in with tuning, I will enter that all into my Kestrel, and will give me like a ballistic readout of exactly what my holds are gonna be. But we're gonna shoot 1.9, we're shooting at 100 yards, and we're just gonna shoot around and shoot some steel. We're really looking to see how well these 40 grainers with a high BC buck the wind out there, because the wind's variable and I'm not gonna be shooting at huge targets. So let's see how it does, and we're gonna see how this rifle kind of performs and handles off of props and bags and things like this. So let's get straight into it. I've got the scope cam on here. Let's look out there at 100 yards and let's see what we got. All right, so let's shoot. We got a little short of 100, which is about 97 is that grenade right there. Yep, just a little high impact on it, which is where it should be. Yep, just smoking it. All right, let's see if we can take out the squirrel. Yep. Oh, we got a target kind of kicked over. Hit it, but we didn't fix it. All right, now this is about, let me parallax this in for you so you can see. This target's a little closer, just at 90. Let's see if we can do a dead hold. Nope, so we're high. So I might not need as much as I think. We're gonna go to 1.8. I'm gonna hold under this guy. Yep, there we go. 1.8, held under, smoked him right in the center. Let's go to the smaller one. Oh, didn't see that guy. Oh, I saw it that time, all right. Wind's pushing. Got him. Got a little left to right now. Parallax back to 100. We're at 1.8 now, which is my 22 hold. We're gonna hold the left edge. Nailed him. So 1.8, which is 1.7, 1.8 is pretty common for 22 long rifle as far as 100 yards. Slower moving 22, like 1060-ish, usually runs about 1.8. You get up around 1100, you're usually about 1.7. So we're pretty close. Let's shoot one more. Woo, knock that sucker right off. She's hitting with some force. All right. Oh yeah, she hits hard. All right, we got the gun topped off. What we are gonna do is we're gonna quit playing games and we're gonna go 180 and make sure you guys can see that clearly. All right, so we've got some targets out there. Now, normally we would dial 5.5 mils for 22 to get out there. I am gonna go 6 mils, and I'm not really super sure what the wind's doing, but let's hold the big plate. We got 6 mils. All right, let's go to this. We may be able to see this better. I feel like the wind's pretty left to right. Let me hold about 0.5 mil. There we go. All right, we hit at 0.5 mil. Let's do the same on the big plate. Okay, yep, saw that one. Oh, okay. So it's all winded. It's about 0.5 mil, and we're a little high. Let me go try and hit swift. Oh, wind is really picking up. Gonna hold off more than 1 mil now. Oh, just got him in the shoulder there. Oh, got him. All right. So we're only, and we're hitting, the height is perfect. Elevation is good. Got him again. So we're only a tenth or two more with the Impact M3 shooting slower. There's a pretty stiff wind right now. I'd be holding off my 22. Look for a future video where we're really gonna get down and cover this about the difference in BC and how they compare directly head to head. But I kind of want to run this back and forth a little bit. We're gonna go back to our 100 yard. We're gonna dial 1.8, get this back at 100. So I'm gonna run this like a course of fire, kind of. I'm just gonna bounce to and from and try and hit some steel. So we'll go from this tip to that tip. So let's see how the gun moves, settles in. This is really what I need to be practicing. Impact. Go on the right side now. The grenade, we're gonna hold him low. Impact. Go after the, oh, that was me. There we go. That was a bad shot. There we go. Yeah, we're a little right. Shoot the squirrel. Banging that squirrel. Oh, it's hitting him so hard. All right. Hopefully that scope cam footage turned out pretty good. You can see just how relatable something like this is going to be to 22 long rifle. And really that's because of the high BC slugs. I think it's going to be a pretty potent combination. It's already doing very, very well. I need to get some other things sorted out. I would like this to bounce a little further forward than what it does right now. Let's go back to the bench. We'll talk about everything we've done here today. All right, so I think that's enough shooting for one day and to demonstrate what I have going on here with all these new parts and accessories for the Impact M3. So there's one thing I really want to talk about before we end the video, and that is, do you need an M3 to go out and compete and have fun? The answer is no, you don't. Take whatever air rifle you have that you like, go out and compete with that. Make sure that's what you want to do, and then when you're ready to step up a little bit and have a little bit more availability of aftermarket supports for some go fast parts like Saber and everything that's going to allow you to shoot PRS and NRL very easily, then you can step up to the M3. But I want to stress that, you know, I believe that this is an amazing rifle. There's a reason I'm shooting this rifle, and it's because I believe it's the best. And beyond that, I believe in the team and the guys over there at FX. And look, after having met some of these guys, some of the other FX shooters, and really the FX USA staff, you're not going to find better people in the airgun industry. These guys are truly dedicated to the sport, and they're doing this stuff to help grow the sport. So even at the end of the day, if you don't like FX air rifles for whatever reason, you really can't not like those guys at FX, because what they're doing is pushing the sport along, and that at the end of the day is what's going to grow the industry, grow the sport together, and that's pretty freaking amazing. Now, if you do want to get things like this, obviously the Saber Tactical rail here, the top and bottom rail, we've got the Saber buttstock, all these parts and pieces, the 800 mil kit, the power block, all those things, I would 100% do that through Justin out there at Utah Airguns. And look, there's a reason why I recommend these guys, because they're not just an airgun shop. They're a group of competitive shooters who also have an airgun shop. That's the difference. These guys live, breathe, shoot these things. They're amazing people. And look, Donnie FL, Saber Tactical, all these guys, I've talked to everybody since getting back into this, all amazing people. Can highly recommend everything on this rifle. So a big thank you to everyone for all the products you see here from Athlon, Saber Tactical, Crawford and Lip, everything that's on this gun, all the amazing parts from the Impact, from the FX guys. Really big thanks to all them, because you've really hook, line, and sinker got me back into this air rifle thing. There's one last thing I want to talk about, and that's while I was on my trip out there and meeting these guys and the staff out there at FX USA and meeting amazing people and seeing how dedicated they were, like we talked about earlier, that has led me to make the decision that I am going to be shooting at RMAC this year, and I'm going to be doing it as an FX USA shooter.
Josh.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the FX family, but
Thank you.
Thing we always do.
Oh, no.
We gotta eat our kill.
All right.
In this sense.
Drink the blood of our victim
Of your
here.
victim, so
I
yeah.
think there's a 22 bullet in there.
That's the seasoning, man. Good job.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Really, I couldn't be more proud to be associated with those guys. And I'm not kidding when I say these guys, Justin at Utah Airguns, FX USA, Up North Air Gunner, 68 Whiskey, these guys are the best in the business. They're a freaking pleasure to be around and truly dedicated to the sport, which I think is amazing. So I'm happy to be on board, because this isn't the end state. This isn't like, hey, the end all be all, we're gonna sell this rifle for the next 20 years and this is what you're gonna get. These guys are still pushing. This is another stepping stone on what I think is gonna be a long line of things that are gonna happen in the industry, to where eventually the air rifles are just going to be flat out beating down the 22 long rifle small bore powder burners. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one.